Hi everyone, my name is Julianne Saroyan and I'm the artistic producer of Dances for a Small Stage in Vancouver, Canada. This is my first ever video blog. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to attempt to do this one weekly. I want to talk about what's happening in dance all around Vancouver, all kinds of dance. I go to see lots of things. I talk to lots of different artists and I wanted to tell you all about it. I'm going to chat about my investigations, my discoveries, my thoughts, my opinions, and everything in between. You can send me your thoughts too, and I might even comment on them. Who knows? Anyway, last week was a very interesting week in small stage land. A very dear friend of mine, Vanessa Goodman, had a show at the Shadbolt Center called where is it? It's called To Color Thought. And this was a two-part show. It had two parts to it. The first part was called Container. And this is a piece that Vanessa has been developing along the way at Dances for a Small Stage. We also took it to Ottawa. She took it to the National Arts Center, and a very funny story came just as she was finishing the first, I guess you would call it a draft of her piece at the avant premiere that we did at the Emerald Room. I'm pointing to the Emerald Room for people who can't see where I'm pointing. We did an avant premiere with Vanessa and this piece, and she had this music that I just thought was very strange. And one night, lo and behold, a very famous musician, Lossell, came to the show. Hi, Lossell. Hi, Scott. And Lossell came to the show, and he was hanging around afterwards with his wife, and he made the mistake, I guess, of saying, "Hey, I didn't really connect with the music," and so I sort of had this brilliant idea that it was actually Scott that should rescore the music before we got on the plane. And so in 36 hours, I think it was 36, I'll just have to check that with Vanessa. But in 36 hours, Lossell rescored the whole piece with Vanessa, and we went to Ottawa with a brand new piece of music for Vanessa's Container. And last week was so fascinating to me that she's taken that piece and developed it into a 20-minute piece where she's woven in more music and Lossell's music, and the score is just incredible. The connection that Vanessa has with her body, her quirky movements, and how she connects to music is fascinating to me. So I look forward to more containers, Vanessa. Vanessa's also continuing to work on a piece called Wells Hill, and I'm really excited about that. And I have a meeting with Vanessa tomorrow to talk about what the future of these two pieces are and other things that she's going to come up with. So I look forward to talking to Vanessa Goodman tomorrow and then telling you all about it next week. The other thing that I did last night, in fact, I went to Surrey, and I got to hang out with a whole bunch of very young, beautiful dancers who are under the direction of Nella Hawes. She runs two things out there in deepest, darkest Surrey. The first one is a young professional dance company called Discord, and they were at my last Dances for a Small Stage show. And I think they are fantastic young dancers that just needed a platform, and I'm so happy to help them. But last night I went out and had the honor of watching a few of the young dancers perform for us, and we got to evaluate them. Natasha Lutz, an old friend of mine, was also on this panel, and it was just so fascinating to be involved in a process where young dancers are performing for you and asking your opinions. And I was so honored to be asked. And I look forward to working with Nella more. Nella, we gotta get you some money out there. We're gonna help you get some gaming money. You need some help. You're doing such incredible work with young women out there, and your programs are so valuable. And then, so upcoming this week is a really exciting week. We're starting a residency with Sammy Chen, Scheherazade Cooper, and Tarun Nair from Delhi to Dublin. This is an exciting thing. Several months ago, well, actually, it started last year at Dances for a Small Stage, the Valentine's show. This was again one at the Emerald Room, and it was Dances for a Small Stage point five, which I was doing and sort of connecting musicians and dancers together. And the one collaboration that I did was with Tarun and Scheherazade. I was fascinated by the fact that both these artists come from mixed backgrounds and have incredible depth to their classical training. But they only use their classical training to sort of dig deeper into their contemporary art and what they are starting to discover and what they want to say, but that it's heavily rooted in tradition and it's heavily rooted in classical training. And I'm very, very excited. I worked my butt off, got a Canada Council grant for them to continue doing this work and creating something and not worrying about what the show looks like or what's going to happen with the show or any of those details. But what's going to happen this week is they're going to get into a studio and start to discover and explore and get to work together and I get to watch. I get to be a fly on the wall. So I will definitely report that back to you next week. But in the meantime, I just announced the Small Stage Salon series, which some sections of what they're going to work on, Scheherazade, Tarun, and Sammy Chen, are going to be shown at this salon series. I'm going to talk more about the salon series next week, but I'm going to tell you that I'm very, very excited about the salon series. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, where we just simply see a bunch of stuff here and there. They're not going to be finished work. There's going to be dialogue between pieces. We may get to ask the dancers, the artists, to do the piece again, perhaps under a different circumstance. Maybe there'll be improv. Maybe there won't be. I'm really excited about this. Also, with that, I've added a happy hour. I think it's important to have happy hour drinks, but also the happy hour that's going to be the groundwork for the show that you're going to see. There's going to be a couple of workshops by the dancers. That'll just sort of give you some groundwork, how to watch the piece. Maybe Dana's going to teach us some palmas that you can then do during the show with her while she dances. So that's another very exciting thing that I've added in addition to the regular stuff that happens around a show. So anyway, signing off here for my first podcast ever on Sunday evenings. Julianne Saroyan, have a great night, everyone, and a great week.